Welcome to the Cigar Rebel community, where indulgence meets authenticity. This is more than a podcast. It's a gathering place for those who savor life's luxuries with unapologetic passion. Here we celebrate the fine art of living through rich flavors, bold spirits, exquisite cigars, and unforgettable experiences.
Welcome, Cigar Rebels, to the podcast. I'm Mel.
And I'm Kevin, and we're coming to you tonight with our Christmas episode. I'm excited tonight.
Yeah, I am too. And also, let's have some real talk for a second. This might be the last quiet moment you're going to get all week.
Well, hopefully not. However, this is the week that can be or creates chaos in your life.
Yes, it could be a week that just feels like one long inhale.
Yeah, and tonight we're going to talk about how important it is to really relax and simply exhale.
Yes, so welcome to the Christmas episode of Cigar Rebel. We're not going to give you any lists to memorize, and we're not going to give you any shopping advice, and there's also going to be no pressure.
Absolutely. It's going to be cigars, food, traditions, and the moments that happen in between all of them.
Yes, and if you are listening while you're wrapping gifts, maybe you're hiding in the garage, or you're sitting outside pretending that you just need a little bit of air.
If that's you, take a deep breath, let it out, grab a cigar, and light up with us. On that note, Mel, what are we smoking tonight?
So I am super excited tonight. We are smoking the Cigar Rebel Limited Edition Custom Winter Blend. So this has got an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and the Nicaraguan Condega and Jalapa fillers. So I am stoked. We've been talking about these a little bit throughout, I think, the last month or so on our podcast, and now they are here, they're ready, and I'm excited to light them up tonight.
Yep, absolutely. Me too. Sorry, my phone was going off, telling me that something was wrong with YouTube, but I think we're good to go. So I have a separate ringtone for that. So yeah, I'm excited to smoke this cigar. The 2026 Cigar Rebel cigar. This is going to be released here in just a few days, or really I was going to say a few weeks, but it really is just a few days from now.
Yeah.
And we're really excited. And so not many of you out there smoking tonight. I know there are a couple of you guys out there smoking it. Before we light it up, just say hello to those following us. Kilt Man, it's great to see you on tonight. Dwayne on there. Merry Christmas to everybody. Man, I cannot believe we are 3 days away from the big day.
I know. I love Christmas. So
yeah. So what are you getting on the cold draw on this before we light up? Because I want to get this lit and get going, but interested in your thoughts.
So I'm loving the cold draw just right out the gate.
I mean, there's a strong earthiness, and
say.
there's a little bit of pepper on the cold draw.
Maybe a hair, yeah.
For you Connecticut lovers out there, this is not a mild Connecticut. This was blended specifically to be a medium to full body Connecticut, and we're really excited to be smoking it tonight on the episode. And so with that in mind, Mel, let's go ahead and get this cigar lit. As always, our lighting is brought to you guys by Big Sky Cigars.
Back in 1905, under Montana skies, 107 factories rolled smoke for a wise. Reminders of ranchers, life one and grin. Now Big Sky Cigars bringing that spirit back in.
Yellowstone River to the bold bighorn flow. Madison, Beirut, Blackfoot, we know. And Lee from Nicaragua, San Andres to the Ecuador rolled up.
And every box sold helps our veterans men. With warriors and quiet waters, we lend a friend's hand. It's heritage burning in every draw. Big Sky Cigars, Montana's pride and law. Big Sky Cigar, where heritage flows with every draw. Find your rare red Big Sky cigar to pop.
Ask your local tobacconist about Big Sky cigars today. If they do not carry them, shops can reach out to Brad Frazier to set up new accounts.
As always, thank you to Big Sky. I will say, I was enjoying the cold draw so much. About halfway through that break, I was like, "Oh, I gotta light this during. This is our time to light." So
Absolutely.
now that we have it lit, how is it? How's it going for you? You might have
Yeah,
a few more
just-
draws than me.
No, just on the first couple of draws on this cigar, it's very, very creamy with a really nice spice. And not a pepper spice or a baking spice, more of like a poblano or an adobe type of spice. It's just got a really rich spiciness to it. That's not hot, it's just more savory.
Yeah.
And so I'm loving this cigar. This cigar was blended by Mel and I and rolled in our factory in Nicaragua. And so super excited to be smoking it. As a real quick throw out and shout out there, as many of our rebels out there know, that Mel and I are some of the owners of Story Cigars and Lounge, in addition to the podcast and our brand, The Elevated Humidor. We are having our 2-year anniversary, and with that 2-year anniversary pack, there are 18 cigars that you're going to be getting, plus a bonus cigar. But one of those 18 cigars is this Cigar Rebel cigar.
Yeah.
And so really excited to share that with a lot of people. They'll be the first people to smoke it with us. There are a couple people, I think, watching tonight smoking it, so I'm excited to see what they have to say. But let's dive right into the topic tonight. It's Christmas week, and I can't be more excited.
I know. I love Christmas time, and with that, we are doing this episode different on purpose. So
absolutely, we would love to know what you guys are smoking tonight, what you're pairing. Drop that in the comments. And Mel said we're doing this differently. It's because this isn't a planning week. This isn't a research week.
Yep, this is a living week for sure.
Absolutely. It is one of those weeks that if you're listening to us right now, Christmas is basically here. The food is planned, the gifts are mostly done, and whatever's not done isn't done.
Yeah, that is very true. And you get to where you're resorting to rhyming.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I definitely think that it's a great season. I look forward to Christmas usually starting around August. I think I pointed out, like, we're not that far from Christmas. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really that time of year. So tonight we're really going to talk about what Christmas week actually feels like, Christmas food and the moments around it, traditions, old, new, and maybe what's kind of half forgotten, and then Christmas cigars and why they matter the most, and finally how to find a little bit of quiet this season.
Yeah, so think of this episode like you're pulling your chair up to a fire. Maybe you're listening right now with a fire. We got a heat wave in, so it is too hot for a fire today.
Absolutely. It was nice and warm here in East Texas today. It's a little cooler tonight with the breeze. As you can tell, we're back on the deck tonight instead of our studio at the Churchill Lounge at Stories. We just wanted a little bit change of pace as we are in the middle of the chaos. Mm-hmm. But Christmas week reality, okay? It's short smokes in stolen moments.
Yes. So let's start here because this is the truth that I feel like nobody puts on Instagram or on their socials.
Absolutely. So Christmas week cigars are not long. They're not elegant sessions. They're not times to pull out the Churchill. They're just not.
Yes. They are short. They're going to be stolen bits of time, and they're going to be squeezed between errands and obligations. That's where I was today with my first cigar. It was right in the middle of a crazy
Absolutely.
day.
I was trying to grab cigars just a couple of times today, running between meetings, having a couple of short smokes, but it's absolutely crazy this time of year. It's why this is the time of year where it might be 10:47 in the evening, because that's the only quiet time you can find, but it's an important time.
Yeah, or it might be the small cigar that you're grabbing, maybe a 4x40 or a 4.5 by 38 cigar. You spend maybe 15 minutes on when you're on the porch, just so that way there you have something, but you might not be able to finish the cigar. You just need a moment. You just need a little bit of that cigar to help relax you or help you through your day.
Absolutely. And again, as I mentioned, this week is not really about perfect cigars. It's about earned cigars.
And Christmas week cigars feel so different because they come after a lot of effort.
Yeah, and it's on these nights or in these moments that I find myself really reaching to something familiar that I don't really have to think about. I'm not trying to put the right notes or find the right palette. I'm not trying to get the perfect pairing. I just want something easy.
Yes, familiar, comfortable, maybe something that feels like an old friend.
And I'm not sure about you guys listening either now live or in the replay, but this is a season where decision fatigue is real.
For sure. And cigars, at their best, they're going to reduce the decisions for you. You cut them, you light them, and then you sit and you enjoy them. And that's it.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is. And here's the quiet truth. If you manage each day, if really all you manage each day is one small short cigar, maybe that 4x40 or that 4.5 by 38 mil mentioned, and you can simply find 10 minutes of silence, I can't talk. It's worth it.
Yeah.
This is the time of year that those 10 minutes are golden.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, isn't that what dreams are made of?
I mean, moments of silence, really enjoying one of life's luxuries is what smoking cigars is all about, Mel.
Yeah.
I truly believe it. What about you guys? Don't y'all agree?
Yeah, hopefully so. So with that, we are going to shift a little bit and we are going to talk Christmas food. So I feel like for me, food this week is going to be part of the heartbeat for me. Cigars and Christmas food.
Yeah, absolutely. Cigars, Christmas food, it's really what it's all about this time of year. And I get really excited. Sorry, we've gotten blurry. And so every single family has a dish, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite dish?
Yeah, your favorite, if you have a Christmas dish or something like that, definitely drop that in there. It's going to be the dish that if it is missing, then someone's going to be like, this doesn't quite feel right. Like, this does not feel like Christmas. Where is that Christmas dish?
Yeah, so for those of you guys watching live, either on Facebook or YouTube, drop in the comments, what is one of your favorite Christmas dishes? Or maybe it's that Christmas dish that if it's not there, well, it just doesn't feel right, even if nobody eats it.
Yes, 100%.
We would love to know what that dish is for you.
Yeah, so Christmas food is 100% memory food.
Yeah, it's really not about innovation. It's about recognition this time of year.
Yes, the smells that matter this week, they can be amazing, nostalgic, all of those things that just pull right at your heartstrings.
It's kind of like the Grinch said. It's all about roast meat, butter, sugar, spice. It's about coffee brewing. It's about the smells of the cookies or whatever that favorite dessert being cooked. That's really what I think of.
Yeah, I agree. And I think here's a part that cigar people will understand, and that's that the best cigar moment is rarely during a meal.
Yeah, and so don't get me wrong. I love a cigar with a good steak, with barbecue, with the burger. But it's really after the meal on Christmas when you can get away and escape the chaos. It is so important.
I laughed at that comment.
For me, it's the eggnog and rum.
Yep.
So we have lots of friends and family members that love eggnog. John, I'm glad that you love eggnog. That is definitely not mine. Leslie says that her grandmother always made chicken and dumplings at Christmas, and we're talking about real dumplings rolled in the with a rolling pin, not canned biscuits. I'm telling you, there is nothing like some really good Southern chicken and dumplings, and it is not common anymore.
Yeah, I agree. So, talking about food, when everyone is full and the plates are stacked, going back to cigars, the room gets a little bit quieter, and that's when the cigar is going to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not as the star, but it's really the punctuation. It's the final moment of the day where things are over, right?
Yes, I would say hopefully it is the end of any chaos that you might have had and the beginning of the peace that comes rolling in through the smoke in each draw of your cigar.
Absolutely. So we've talked just real briefly about food, and we haven't really spent a lot of time on it, but we haven't talked much about our favorite or must-have foods. What was the must-have food of your childhood, Mel? Let's share with the other rebels out there.
So I would say Christmas Day, we always had lasagna, and then my mom would make stuffed shells, and that was dinner, and probably dinner for a couple of days after every Christmas. So my mom is Italian, so we grew up eating a lot of Italian food, and I don't know that we've ever really done that for Christmas, but as a kid, that was we really only had those dishes once a year.
Yeah, absolutely. So for mine, my aunt's German chocolate cake came out every year at Christmas. I remember looking forward to that. I'm not a big chocolate fan, but I do love me some German chocolate cake with all the coconut on top and in it. And then my mom's sausage balls. I don't know why, but it really was not Christmas without those when I was growing up.
And what's crazy is I don't think, for one, I've never had either of those. And the second part of that is I don't even know that was a tradition in your house until you told me last week.
Yeah, but so here's the real question. Why have you never asked or asked my mom how to make them? That's the real question here.
I mean, you can ask me that. You could have given me the recipe. You know, I would have tried to make them for you. Probably not as good as your mom, though.
Yeah. Well, maybe not, but you're a great cook. So, but you've never asked, you've never tried to make them for me, and I didn't know about yours either till tonight. Yeah. I couldn't have told you what they were. We're that close, guys. We know each other's childhood things.
Well, I think because for Christmas, for us, we usually are traveling in some regard every Christmas, and our traditional Christmas meal is in the morning because Starbucks is open. The last, I don't know how many years we've gone to Starbucks because it's the only thing open and we're traveling.
Absolutely. It's so true. So for years, in the years that you and I have been together, we've spent Christmas traveling for the kids, and I thank you so much for that. For sure. And one of the things that you really always have done since we've been together is the couple of days leading up to Christmas is making chocolate chip cookies, which you made earlier this week. Yep. And you make me a low-carb shortbread cookie that is amazing. And then sometimes you'll make some kind of chocolate because you love chocolate. All of those are absolutely amazing.
Yes. And then you also cannot forget that they come out about once a year is the homemade cinnamon rolls.
Absolutely. The homemade cinnamon rolls are my favorite Christmas food. Matter of fact, they're probably the favorite thing you make. When we first got together, Mel was making them all the time. And she makes traditional, she makes espresso, she makes cranberry orange, and they're absolutely spectacular. But as I've mentioned on the podcast before, I'm diabetic, and it was killing me literally because I can say no to something, but when you put it on a plate in front of me, I have no governor. I'm just going to enjoy it, and I cannot stop. So when those are on the counter, it's game over.
Well, on total side note for all of you rebels out there, before we started the cigar business, about 6 months before, I would say, we actually talked about me opening a cinnamon roll business. Do you remember that? I was thinking about that today.
Dough Rebels.
Yep, it was going to be Dough
So
Rebels.
instead of Cigar Rebel, we were going to be the Dough Rebels. And I'm telling you, for as good as Mel is at blending cigars, she is probably better at baking things. I mean, it's amazing.
So getting back on to the topic here, I could talk about food all the time, but getting back to Christmas cigars, after your food, is after you've done all of your holiday food, it's great to have just for that physically, maybe emotionally, and even mentally.
Absolutely. You're not really pairing flavors. You're really looking at how do I pair peace and relaxation, and it comes through a nice long draw, chewing on the smoke and exhaling. That is the perfect after dinner dessert.
Yeah, I agree. And I love that. I think getting into more talking about Christmas, we're going to talk about actual traditions. We talked about food traditions, but actual non-food traditions for Christmas.
And so the reality is this is where Christmas gets complicated.
Yes, because some traditions feel very sacred to people.
And a lot of them feel heavy and are very important to people.
And some are just autopiloted because you do them every year. It's just the expectation.
And the reality is, what I've noticed as our family has changed and grown, and we have son-in-laws and kids are getting older, is traditions evolve over time, whether we want them to or not. And it can either create the chaos or bring peace.
Yeah, I mean, people move, families change, they grow, and energy just shifts to maybe what you've done every single year.
So Dwayne and Leslie are willing to test the shipping methods of our cinnamon rolls. So we may have to take that into consideration. And you're right about people moving, family changes, and sometimes the traditions actually become smaller, but can actually become a little bit more meaningful because of that.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite Christmas traditions now is a little bit of that late night quiet.
Absolutely. And I love being out when it's peaceful at night, it's dark out, the Christmas lights on the house and the tree are on. Sitting here, I can actually see our Christmas tree. I can see our Christmas lights out on the front of the house and the neighbors. As you guys have seen in the pictures, when it's light outside, we live on a golf course, and I can see other neighbors' houses and lights. And it's so still, no one's talking, and the cigar just feels right. And oftentimes there's a Christmas movie, preferably a Hallmark style movie. I love them. They're cheesy. I've loved them for years. I finally got Mel into them. But with the lights on, the Christmas movie playing, and you lightly toast a cigar and take your first draw, that's Christmas.
Yes, and that would be probably my favorite cigar of the season.
Yeah, so no agenda, no conversation, just laughter over the movie, slow draws, and peace.
Yes.
Which I absolutely love.
And Christmas traditions, they don't need to be loud to be real or to be accepted.
Yeah, in fact, the older I get, I seem to value or love the traditions that don't really announce themselves. They're quiet, they're peaceful.
Yes, and I think a lot of times we will maybe drive through the neighborhoods that go all out for Christmas. We love to do that. And there's also cold nights on the porch. Not tonight, but we had some cold nights last week, and
Absolutely.
It was just nice to be out here just enjoying the season.
Yeah, matter of fact, last night we took our golf cart. We live in a golf course community, as I've mentioned, and so we got on the golf cart and we drove around and smoked cigars and looked at Christmas lights for a couple of hours. And it was so nice to see other people out either driving around in cars. There was a few other golf carts out. There were some people walking, and everyone was just enjoying the lights. Yeah. And it's such a relaxing and peaceful time to enjoy a cigar and look at them. Matter of fact, something that's kind of funny, a total side note, a freebie for you guys is I chose the wrong size cigar. I ran out of a cigar way before Mel did, and she reminded me that back in July, our golf cart has a glove box. I'd thrown a cigar in there. She's like, hey, there's one in there. And I pulled it out, took it. I didn't have a cutter with me, so I just bit the end off the cap, which is what I do when I'm at the factory or sometimes if I'm driving around. Mm-hmm. And so did that, lit that up, smoked that one for about an hour, and it was just such a peaceful, wonderful night to enjoy, right?
Yep.
But with that in mind, as I was thinking last night about changing and things, traditions changing, here's a tip for all you rebels out there. It's okay to retire traditions that simply don't fit you anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay to let them go and move on.
Yes, and I think it's also okay in that same realm of thought to start quiet ones or start a new one without permission as well.
Absolutely. And so one of our traditions includes hot chocolate or sugar-free apple cider. By the way, it's what I'm drinking and pairing my cigar with tonight, this light Connecticut with an apple cider. Smoking a cigar and watching Christmas movies has become a big tradition in our house. And it's one of those things that we love to sit out here and watch on our TV, which just is a few feet in front of us. So, Mel, with that, what are some of your favorite Christmas movies that we like to watch?
So I would say every year we watch Daddy's Home 2. Favorites.
So I'm telling you, it is probably one of the rare movies that I don't remember what the first one's about at all, but I absolutely love the second one. Before she goes on their list, if y'all are watching live or if you're watching this on the replay, why don't you drop in the comments your favorite Christmas movie, and we may share some of those next week when we do Fireside Philosophy and do a quick hit back on Christmas movies.
Yep. So Christmas movies, other ones we watch pretty much every year is Christmas with the Cranks, Jingle All the Way.
Great
Home
one.
Alone 1 and 2 is usually right after or right around Thanksgiving. White Christmas
Yep,
is another
love that
one. You've Got Mail.
Yep.
And then one of Kevin's absolute favorites, maybe favorite movies of all time, is The Holiday.
I do love all of those movies. White Christmas, You've Got Mail, The Holiday. And a lot of them we watch more than once. We've watched White Christmas a couple of times this year already. Daddy's Home 2, as I mentioned earlier, is absolutely fantastic. But there is something about You've Got Mail and The Holiday that I love. We've not watched You've Got Mail yet this year. We've only got a couple of days. But I will get The Holiday in a second time this Christmas. It will actually be the third time this year because I was in a hotel a few months ago and it happened to be on. I couldn't leave. I had to stay and watch it.
And
Mel-
you hadn't seen either of those two, or maybe those three, Daddy's Home, Holiday, or You've Got Mail, before we were together.
So true. I hadn't seen any of them until you and I got together. But as I said, new traditions are great, especially when they involve cigars.
Yeah.
And I love all of those movies. And I can't wait for Christmas time to start watching Hallmark Channel movies and then to jump into that list. And we have a few different ones on here. Dwayne says the Santa Claus the First. I love that. I watched it last weekend with the kids. Leslie said the Santa Claus, all three movies, and Christmas Vacation. Love Christmas Vacation. Haven't watched that yet this year. There's been a lot of good Hallmark ones this year, and some of them have sequels. So I've had to go back and watch the first one and then the sequel. Total cheesy moment. But I'm going to tell you something, Mel. You don't get as deep into cigars and pallets and leaves and tobaccos and farming without being a little bit of a nerd. So I do nerd out a little bit on the Hallmark movies, and I like watching the ones with the same characters, even though they're different movies, because I kind of feel like it's a continuation. Yeah. Really stupid. But love all of those. Christmas Carol, Christmas Chronicles, and Claus. The Christmas Chronicles is a great one. And Leslie said she does like You've Got Mail. We do love a good Christmas movie. And something that you've gotten into watching the last couple of years that you would always watch with me, but now you enjoy watching, and it's changed our Christmas season a little bit. You know what it is?
No.
You play a game, and you got to keep up with them.
This is a movie?
Fantasy football.
Oh!
So Mel's been playing fantasy football the last 2 years with me. And last year, by the way, she had never played fantasy football, and she was our league champion.
Yep.
This year, she came in, I think, 7th after the games this weekend. But
I'll
now she's interested in a lot of games. Normally, she'd watch the Texans with me or the Steelers. But now we're watching games all weekend long because she's rooting for her players. Fantasy football is the greatest thing that ever happened to football. And it's great from Thanksgiving to Christmas because every game matters. It's awesome.
Yep. And a perfect question also for you rebels out there talking about Christmas movies is the classic. I have actually never seen Die Hard. And so Kevin would say up and down it is a Christmas movie. I've thought about maybe it's time that I actually watch it this season, maybe around this time, and I could decide for myself if I think it is a Christmas movie.
Okay, so Leslie said she loves all the Hallmark movies. Someone else does not, but he has been around, so he's not watched as much. So for those of you guys watching live or again on the replay, drop in there. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? We would love to know and take a short poll. I absolutely think it is a Christmas movie because it is not truly Christmas until Hans Gruber falls. And then it is the season to begin right there.
All right, so you watch it without me every year in secret?
I do not. I just watch that scene. You've got to have the scene, right?
Awesome.
So on that thought, we have a lot more to come. But before we get to it, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
We fell in love with cigars not because of the flavors or smoking experience or perceived status, but because it allows barriers to fall between other humans and build deeper connections.
For that reason, we've been super intentional to curate a space where people can find community and enjoyment with others, and cigars just happen to be the way we're doing it. For that reason, we are thrilled to be the one and only cigar retail store and lounge in downtown Lufkin. A good story is one of the most powerful tools used to connect with another human. Sharing stories fades out differences and highlights similarities found in the details, or with the storyteller. Over the years, we have seen some of the best stories told over cigars, and thus, new friendships are made, passions shared, encouragement given, and so much more. The impact storytelling has on the human connection is why we've decided to name our store and lounge Stories. Because behind every good cigar and conversation is an even better story.
As always, a thank you to our sponsors. Let's go ahead and take a look at upcoming shows.
Sorry, I was tracking my ash because I was trying to see how long it could get. I got to about 2 inches, 2.5, and I just lost it during the break trying to ash it. So let's jump right into those episodes coming up. Next week on December 29th, we have a great episode I'm excited about. Fireside Philosophy, Deep Thoughts over Cigars.
January 5th is going to be Lounge Etiquette in 2026. We're doing the unwritten rules everyone should know, and on that episode, we'll be smoking the Blackened M81.
And I forgot to mention, next week we're smoking the Fuente 858 Natural. Excited about that one. Then coming up on January 12th, we are going to jump right into cigar dinners, and we're going to recap the Stories 2-year anniversary cigar dinner and talk about cigar dinners in general and why they're wonderful. And for that episode, we're going to be smoking the Stories 2-year anniversary cigar.
And then on January 19th, we are going to talk about our cigar rating system. So rating cigars as an art form and also the system that goes into it. And on that, we'll be smoking the Montosa, Connecticut.
Yep, absolutely. So we have a lot of great shows coming up over the next few weeks. We would like to encourage you to look down there and click that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Also, you can go out to our YouTube channel and click notify me to keep up with all the different things and click on the episodes that are coming up. The next 5 or 6 weeks are out there posted for you to do that. You can also subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram accounts at Cigar Rebels, or as always, follow us and join the conversation at the Cigar Rebel community on Facebook. We'd love to have each of you guys posting pictures, what you're smoking or pairing, but we're excited about what's coming up over the next few weeks and some announcements we have with a couple of new cigars. They're going to get released in 2026 by the Elevated Humidor.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. So before we get back to our topic tonight, let's check in on this cigar.
Absolutely. So
Holds a nice ash.
it does.
How far you got it?
It hides a really good ash. Dwayne commented earlier, said citrus notes are prominent in the first third of the cigar. I would agree with that. Dwayne is smoking the cigar along with us, and so absolutely love that. It's very, very creamy.
Just about to say
It's very, very earthy to me. I do get a mixture of that black pepper and the sauteed peppers. I agree on the citrusy, but I really think that citrusy note to me is a little bit more white pepperish. In the United States, we really take that citrus as a spice and a pepper, whereas in other countries, they take it more as a citrus, an orange, a lemon, a lime, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so I definitely see that on this cigar as well. How about you?
Yeah, I would agree with all those things that you and even Dwayne mentioned. I have a little bit of tingle in the center of my bottom lip, just a little bit, and then on the top of my tongue, there's a little bit of that tingle there from the spice.
Absolutely, I would agree.
But just a little one. It's very subtle.
So I know we're going to jump back into the topic here in just a second, but I want to do one other quick thing. We've had a couple people asking about a couple of different things over the last few weeks, and just want to make sure that we cover a couple of topics that kind of need to be covered. And so, Mel, do you want to talk about Cigar Rebel, the Elevated Humidor, and Stories and how that's organized?
Yes. So it can be, I think, kind of confusing, as Kevin had mentioned, because we have the Cigar Rebel, which of course is our podcast. We have the Elevated Humidor, which is our cigar company. And then we have Stories, which is our cigar lounge that we have with a couple of their owners that you guys have all seen on the show before. So
talk about Cigar Rebel and Elevated Humidor is mine and your company.
correct, yes.
Because I think sometimes we add stories at the end and then we say who we own with other people, and I think it means like all of them, some of them.
Yeah, so stories is just we have you guys have all met them before, Chris, JB, and Tony. We all own stories together, and then Kevin and I own the Cigar Rebel, and then we also own the Elevated Humidor. So in relation to cigars, if you are looking to find our cigars at brick and mortar or anywhere, if you're going in and asking, you would want to ask for the Elevated Humidor because that is our cigar brand. We do very limited runs of like what we're smoking tonight, which is the Cigar Rebel custom blend for wintertime. But that really is a small run that is available for a very limited time. It is not sold anywhere except for through our website. And so this you will not generally be able to find in a store. So if you ever are in a cigar shop and looking for our cigars, you'll want to ask for the Elevated Humidor.
If you want to find them online, you can grab them at twoguyscigars.com. Yes. You can grab them at undergroundcigarshop.com. Those are the only two places online at the moment you can find the Elevated Humidor. But there's a handful of cigar shops around the country that do sell them. And then we've also been getting asked about wanting to be able to buy a pack to smoke along with us on the show. We've had this request a handful of times recently from probably a dozen or so different people. And so we did want to announce that we are going to be releasing in January the Rebel Pack, shipping monthly so you can smoke along with the show. It is up and available on our website, which you can go to elevatedhumidor.com. As we've mentioned, we sell none of our cigars on there. Only Cigar Rebel stuff is available. The cigar pack will actually include name brand cigars, legacy cigars, boutique cigars, some of the Elevated Humidor stuff, and then maybe some limited edition stuff that we're trying out for Cigar Rebel. And so those are going to be available starting next month. And you would go to elevatedhumidor.com and click on the Cigar Rebel link, and it's data about the show, and then a link down there in the bottom to purchase those only. We're a big believer that we do not want to compete with our brick and mortar partners that we have out there, and so we are not selling online. But just because people have been asking, we wanted to clear that up. Let's get back into the Christmas topic, because as we mentioned earlier, Christmas traditions have changed over time, right?
Yeah, and there are a few, honestly, that they just don't hit like they used to.
Yeah, and so Christmas over time has started to feel different. Not bad, just different.
Yeah. And I think, the nostalgia is real. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media about people wanting to go back to a 90s Christmas, like the 90s lights and the 90s shopping, all of those things.
Yeah, and so we ran across a list over the weekend and want to share some of those with you. And so, Mel, what are some of the traditions that have changed over time?
Yeah, so this is going to be kind of our list of 10 things that aren't the same, probably that they were sometimes long ago. Maybe some of them are before my time, but most of them were during my time. And just a note of warning to you guys that these are from our memories, but they are also Christmas traditions from long gone lists. So the first one for me would be growing up. My mom, she would make, I can't even remember, probably like 10 cheesecakes and like a billion cookies, and she'd package them all up and she would go deliver them. I would go with her sometimes, and she would drop them off at people's houses. And I don't feel like you see that a lot anymore these days. Another one is holiday cards. So we used to hang them all up on our front door, and our front door would just be covered in them. I think now we probably get 5, maybe
I haven't sent one out in years.
And I did send them out like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I think, for us, but I haven't the last couple of years.
Yeah. So another one that's gone by is caroling, right? It was amazing to see people walking around and singing carols. And today it really just has fallen out of fashion. I don't know that I've seen Christmas colors in a neighborhood maybe in a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time. Another one from my childhood, and I would love to know if any of you guys did this as a child, but the Sears Roebuck catalog. When that thing came in, it was like Christmas morning all to itself. I would sit down and just flip page by page, looking at everything in there, from the clothes to the tools to the toys to the outdoor equipment. It was crazy.
Yep.
And then when I was growing up, something that, as we've had kids and our kids are getting older, when I was a kid, big presents and things really came at birthdays and Christmases, even the things I needed.
True.
But nowadays, it feels like kids get stuff whenever they want it and ask for it. And so there's not a lot of anticipation for a big Christmas or a big birthday. They're excited about it, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. So another one is in-person Christmas shopping. And this is something I used to love to do. I still enjoy it. It's just finding time. But I remember for a long time in my 20s, every Christmas Eve I would go out and I would finish up my Christmas shopping. It was always crowded, but like me and my sister would go, and then sometimes I'd go by myself. And I always loved that. Now online is definitely convenient, but I still do like to go in person Christmas shopping.
So interrupting you for a second, one of my favorite things used to be is to go Black Friday shopping. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to watch the chaos. And as I've gotten older, by the time it gets to Black Friday, I'm done with people. I just want to sit on my deck in the quiet we talked about earlier with a cigar. I don't need to go be around people.
Yes, I used to go Black Friday shopping every single year. I haven't the last two, and I haven't missed it too much. Another thing that has kind of disappeared is a real Christmas tree. That was another thing growing up. There was a person half a mile down the road from us, and he owned a Christmas tree farm, and you'd go pick up your tree after Thanksgiving. You'd pick it out, or before, actually, whenever he started, maybe like October or September. You know, there's that line in A Christmas Story where the dad's like, if we don't leave, we're going to miss all the good trees, or whatever he says. Like, that was a joke in our family because my mom wanted to go find the perfect Christmas tree, and then you'd go pick it up after Thanksgiving and he'd cut it down for you. But that was always kind of a fun. And I think I asked you one of the first years we were together about getting a real one. And you were like,
no
way.
Thank
you.
They're messy. They're hard to clean up. They smell wonderful, but then there's crap all over the floor. I'm all about simple at this point.
And then another one is the candlelight Christmas Eve services.
And you still see a few of them around, but not like you used to. And that used to be such a special thing to do. One of my favorites growing up was kind of the open house or the round robin, where you'd go to all your neighbors' house and just walk and say Merry Christmas and bring cookies. And it was just kind of like neighbors were neighbors. I think the last few Christmases, I haven't even seen our neighbors, let alone walked around and visited them on that day, right? I mean, everybody's kind of busy. And then the other thing that I think has changed, that may be a great tradition that has changed, or maybe it's not, is baking for weeks on end, getting ready for the big day. Today we have so many bakeries, and everybody's so busy. It's just putting your order in.
Yeah.
And even so, I was ordering a Christmas ham to be cooked from somebody and somehow missed the email to pay for it. So you had to call and tell them they emailed you, you paid for it. I somehow missed it, or they didn't send it. I was too busy to follow up until yesterday when I realized we don't have a Christmas ham coming.
So that's our list. Let us know what you guys think about it. If we missed anything that you guys think traditionally maybe used to be very, very big, but now it's not. Or if you have some fond memories of some traditions you used to do, but you no longer really get to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to take the last few minutes of the podcast here today and talk about Christmas cigars.
Yes. So this is where people are going to expect a list.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're not going to do a list. It's not about lists.
Yes, this is going to be about moments.
They're really the Christmas moments where you can steal 5 or 10 minutes to enjoy a cigar, and realistically, you want 45 to an hour.
Yeah. So you're going to have your anticipation cigar.
The anticipation cigar?
Yes.
Are you anticipating everybody leaving, or anticipating it coming up?
No,
Right?
just anticipating getting to go have your cigar. People could still be here, and you could still go have it, even if there's still people here.
So I was thinking it was the cigar I need in the morning before everybody gets here. The medicine keeps me alive. The cigar keeps them alive. So then there's the post-dinner cigar, right?
Yeah. I mean, the one after dinner, which we kind of talked about. And then the last one is going to be the everyone is asleep cigar.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last one really hits the hardest. It really is the best cigar.
So Leslie said, answering our question from above, that she remembers driving home from her grandmother's house on Christmas Eve, and she would look out the window trying to find Santa. Her parents would find the first airplane they could find with a flashing red. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
A flashing red light, and tell me it was Rudolph, and that I needed to hurry and go to sleep. That's so cute. Now you have the Google Santa tracker that the kids watch from time to time, and something that me and my sisters, which I don't know if I've ever told you this, but we give my parents a hard time still to this day, is when we were younger, they would set up Christmas Eve and they would tell us we were not allowed to come out of our rooms until they got up. Have I ever told you this before? We had to stay in our rooms until they got up and came and got us on Christmas Day. And at that point in time, they would sleep in until like 11 or 12. So we would all be up at like 7 or 8, and we would just be waiting for hours for them to come and get us and tell us we could start. As a 6-year-old kid, it was so brutal. So we give them a hard time about that today.
Absolutely. So, and that's why traditions change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you had mentioned before we got to Leslie's comment that last cigar that after everybody's asleep, and that really is the one that hits the hardest, right?
Yeah, it's the one where you can actually slow down and you can think about the year that you've had.
Right. What worked, what didn't, who showed up, because at the end of the day, when it comes to life, it's not always about who's in your circle, it's about who's in your corner.
Right. And the cigar, it doesn't have to be rare, it doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to be the right cigar for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people have a cigar that they save all year long in anticipation for that Christmas night cigar or Christmas Eve festivities or the Christmas day. They unwrap their favorite present of the year and light it up.
Yeah, so that could be the cigar that they have been anticipating, holding, like you said, just looking forward to. Now it's finally time to just light it up.
Absolutely. When you say that, it makes me think of, it's like that UFC announcer Bruce Buffer. He's like, "It's time. What you have been waiting for." I mean, it's this crazy thing, right? It's the celebration.
Yeah, it is a time, and remember, like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive or unique. It can be the same familiar, easy to get stick every Christmas.
Absolutely. It can be a luxury cigar that you've been saving throughout the year. It can be a cigar in your regular rotation that just instantly feels like comfort.
Yeah, I mean, both of those are valid options.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Christmas cigars, especially if you're using it as a time to reflect on your year, it's about meaning, not about points, not about what could I post on social that everybody's going to be envious of, or in my cigar group chat, or
absolutely. The best cigar to me is the cigar, Mel, that you take the time and pause to enjoy it. It's the cigar that you spend a moment on and you really begin to reflect with gratitude, with peace, and it's just restful. And I love that. We did that on Thanksgiving after everybody left and kind of the kids settled down. We did it the day after Thanksgiving when a lot of them actually left. Because by noon or 2 o'clock on the day after Thanksgiving, all the kids had gone. We sat right here and had a cigar. It really didn't talk for an hour.
Yeah.
It was great. And I anticipate to do that again in a few days.
Yeah. So as we're coming to a close on our Christmas podcast, let's land it gently.
Yeah, because Christmas week is emotional for a lot of people. I was talking to a group earlier today and said sometimes Christmas is trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There's broken families, there's parents who have passed away, there's kids that aren't going to be coming home for Christmas, there's grandchildren you're not going to see, and all of that impacts every single one of you differently.
Yeah,
but there's something that brings us all together, and that's our love of cigars. And so this Christmas, we want to have a cigar.
Yeah, so like you were saying, all those different emotions. For me, I always feel a lot of joy this season, but some nostalgia, but some people, they're dealing with a lot of grief, they're dealing with exhaustion, they're dealing with maybe anxiety of, just the season that sometimes that brings, and
Absolutely.
all those things show up.
And so here's a reminder for all of you cigar rebels out there this Christmas.
Yes, you do not have to perform during this season.
You do not have to maximize joy.
You just have to notice it when it appears.
Take the time to have a quiet cigar, a warm drink, a pour of your favorite bourbon or cocktail, a moment where nothing is required of you but peace.
Yes, because that is 100% Christmas as well.
And if for some reason you get one calm moment in the next few days,
You got to protect it.
absolutely.
I'm coming with that. Protect that moment. As someone who is fairly introverted and enjoys alone time, if you have that opportunity, protect it and take it.
Absolutely. So, Mel, let's give final thoughts on this cigar. And I know Dwayne, Leslie, y'all are swimming along with us. We'd love to know your thoughts. The chat's been a little quiet tonight compared to the last few weeks. We kind of anticipated that with Christmas coming up. So we're so thankful y'all have been on. But we'd love to know, Dwayne, Leslie, y'all's thoughts because y'all are smoking this cigar, I believe. But Mel, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, I have almost smoked. I'm down almost to the nub. I mean, it is smooth, creamy. I think it has some of those great flavor notes we were talking about. The pepper with the earthiness, a little bit of tingle in there. I mean, it is a phenomenal cigar. I can't wait to smoke another one, but I can't smoke too many more because we've got some allocated. We've got them allocated out.
We do. We have, matter of fact, from the pre-sales of the few people that had reached out, we are low already on these. We only produced 80 boxes of these, and so that's one of those things that they're pretty low. But on there, Dwayne had mentioned that it's been consistent throughout the smoke, excellent blend. Hate that it's a limited run. And it's probably influenced because Dwayne said it earlier, I continue to get those citrus notes. I would probably, if I'm honest, wouldn't say that. I'd say it's white pepper because it's hitting me right on the back of the throat, which is where white pepper tends to get me. I'm still getting that roasted pepper notes off of it. But I would say for the goal, when you blend a cigar and it's full bodied, after it's rested 6 months, which this one has, it's been out there, it sometimes gets a little bit more mellower, occasionally a little stronger, but most of the time a little mellower. This one's really stayed pretty true to that medium full for me, probably a 7 or 8, and so I'm really excited about that. That it's there. So
when you said 7 or 8, I was gonna say
no. I intentionally chose those. I was not going to use the other 2 words that are common right now, or letters.
The numbers.
I wasn't going to say.
Then I won't say it.
Yeah. So Leslie said she loves the smooth and creaminess. I'm getting some orange notes, almost a hint of orange creamsicle. I love that. I love having that. And so that's one of the things we're excited about with our rating coming up here in the next few weeks. She said she's more like a 6. I was probably going to say a 6, 7, but I didn't want to go there. So I intentionally went 7, 8, but Mel brought it up anyways.
Yep.
So, Mel, where are we at next?
Well, Cigar Rebels, that's our show pretty much.
Yep.
And this is from our fire over here to yours.
Absolutely. We wish you a Merry Christmas and many moments of peace and joy and relaxation over the next few days, and hopefully a handful of cigars.
Yes, we are so grateful that you chose to spend just a little snippet of this holiday week with us here tonight.
No matter how you celebrate, loud or quiet, full, with a full house or an empty porch.
Yes, we do hope that you find a moment that truly does feel like yours.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas to all of you rebels out there.
Yes, thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you liked this episode, Please leave us a review, share with your cigar friends, as I know you guys have, and hit us up with any topics you would love for us to dive into in future episodes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you liked watching us, go ahead and click that subscribe button. If you're watching on the replay, hashtag replay fam, just let us know. But we are going to sign off. I think that's our show.
Yep.
Again, Merry Christmas to each of you out there. Be blessed and be safe.
Yes, thank you guys for joining us. And until next week, keep your cigar lit, your ash long, and your palate curious.
Have a good night, guys.